lads, this is Jason Day and Jeg Coughlin. We're here today training with the lads. We're going to go through some putting with Jeg today, and what this little segment is called, it's going to be self-awareness or self-assessing your putting. So learning why you missed that putt, and then being able to self-assess and then correct yourself as you go out and play whatever it is. You know, a normal social round, a tournament round, whatnot. So Jeggy's calibrated on the mirror here. We've kind of set this up before. He's calibrated. What we're going to do is we're going to take you, Jeg, to another hole, okay?
Question though on this. Yeah. For somebody that wanted to learn about this, we went through how to set this up. Yeah. This is obviously a lot of equipment. If there was one piece out of all this that you would encourage somebody to use as a tool, would it be the mirror overall, or what? If
I would say one piece, it most likely would be this and this, but that's not set up yet. So, cool. But that's for another segment. So we're going to go over here. What we're going to do is we're going to maybe tell them to hit 5 putts. Usually when you're self-assessing, you want to try and do maybe 10 to 20 putts. But right now we're going to get him to go through his routine, read a putt. We're going to go through everything that he does. Yep. He's going to hit a putt, and then we're going to self-assess what happened after it. If it went in, great. If it didn't, you know, we're going to have an open mind to why it missed and really try and recreate like the good habits so that he can go forward, try understanding why he potentially missed some putts. So let's do a left to right 10-footer. Okay. Just go from here to there.
Here to there. Yeah.
Okay.
So first thing, obviously, mark your ball when you get to the green, and then as I go around reading a putt, for me, I'm going to start behind the ball. And one of the things that, frankly, I've learned from working with Jason over the years too is I'll first start to read a putt where I look at the hole and where the ball's lined up, and I actually picture if I were to just aim straight at the hole and visualize where this ball would roll, where would it end up? Right, so if I look at this ball and say, okay, if I were to aim this ball straight at the center of the hole, I think it would end up about a cup to the right, a cup on the low side. So now I'm just gonna aim a cup on the high side, and it's kind of a good visual, at least to get an idea as to where you wanna aim. So now I've gone through that, get behind it, visualize a good putt, and walk it.
And really quick before you hit the putt, Jeggy, okay. I want you to tell me every detail, okay? So I want you to go in and say, this is where I'm aiming. Yep. This is how far do you want to hit it past?
Got it. My goal would be to hit this probably 18 inches past.
Okay, so we're looking at 1.5 feet. So typically it would be there, and you're looking at a half. So probably about that speed. Yep. You would say? Yep. So I'm gonna take that out because sometimes you can react to that. Have you got the line?
Yeah, I've got the line. I'm playing this about a cup and a half on the left, and it's a little downhill. So
you just point me in the right direction of where you would aim.
A little bit inside that, right there.
Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah. So go and hit your putt, Jeggy. Okay. So, how was it?
I mean, I feel like, the greens are a little faster than I was expected. Like, I feel like I actually was a little short and quick on that. So my initial feedback would have been that I missed that putt short right. Okay. But overall, pretty solid, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Did you feel like you started it on line?
Yes.
And the speed was?
I felt like a little short.
Yes.
So
when we're self-assessing, right, that's his 18 inches. Yep. And you would say that this went in low side, and if it missed, it'd probably go about there, right? Yep. Maybe a little bit further. So if we're trying to hit 18 inches past on that speed, and you hit it here, but you hold it, you had to do one or two things. You had to aim a little bit higher, which on the replay, potentially, if you got the angle right, it started about maybe this far left of it. Yeah. Which is fine. Yeah. You hold the putt, which is totally fine, because sometimes when you get on fast greens, subconsciously you know that, and you're sitting there going, okay, I aimed here, but the greens look fast. I'm going to shuffle up because I know that it's going to break a little bit more. And because he was aiming too high, he had to hit it a little bit softer to counteract the more break that he was aiming for. So that's great.
That's exactly what I did, by the way. Like, I felt like when I stood up and I looked at where that tee was, I was like, I feel like that's low. And I adjusted high.
Which is fine, because like the amount of times that I have like that I track the ball along the way, I adjust all the time. It's never set. So I trust, give me that ball real quick, sorry. I trust this person over the ball looking like this down the line, then I trust this person reading the putt more. Sometimes you have to go back and forth between the two, because sometimes this person over the ball likes to lie a little bit, and you're sitting there going, okay, I'm reading a better line from back here. That's how you kind of calibrate. But going back to Jeg's putt, he hit a really good putt, he holed it, that's fantastic. He hit a little bit soft, he aimed a little bit high, but he knew that subconsciously, because he's going, these greens are a little bit speedy, there is wind coming down as well that you guys can't see or feel, but he can, so he's going to make that minor adjustment for it. So overall, really well done. We're going to do a right to left and try and work on it again, and then we're going to self-assess.
Okay.
So let's go maybe wherever you want to go. There you go.
Let's go just here, back to the same hole, a little bit further distance.
Yep. Now I'm going to put the 18 inches that you like.
Yeah.
So there.
So again, same routine. I get behind it, read the putt, and I'll often go and actually stand in the middle of the line and kind of feel what would be the apex point of the putt. So where I think it's going to break in the middle, it's just something I like to feel in my feet. Or
That's fantastic. I love that, Jake.
Yeah, I'll come up to here and kind of look at the hole and feel this. So again, same routine where I'll look at the hole straight on and say, okay, if I were to hit a straight putt, where would this end up?
Where would you like me to place the tee? Just to...
About 2 cups on the right.
So, about here?
There. Yeah, that's good.
Is that okay, or you want to adjust?
No, I like that.
Okay.
And my tendency, I'm bringing my awareness, I guess, into this putt, which is actually probably an interesting thing to say, because if you're somebody that is anxious about pulling putts or pushing putts, and you bring that into a putt, that's probably not the best thing.
No. Well, I mean, so if you're anxious about pulling and pushing putts, that means that you're already out of being able to roll your putt online with where you got. You're not telling either a good story, which is good visual of what you're trying to do.
Yep.
Like, you're not being able to tell yourself a good enough story to trust in that story to be able to go in and trust that execution.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and you're not really trusting it, and you don't see a really good, like a good putt going in the hole, it's giving you anxiety, it's giving you a little bit of stress, so you don't trust it and you're half in, half out kind of committing. So let's try and visualize like a really good putt that you see going in at 18 inches past, go and hit the putt, and then we can see where it goes.
Is there a question that like you ask yourself to promote that vision to come?
Well, you can ask yourself questions. So typically when you ask yourself a question, like, what does a good putt look like, or what does this putt look like holing with good speed, some type of question like that, usually the brain has to answer.
Correct.
Because you've asked a question. So, and then once you have that, you ask the question, you see the visual, and you see the ball rolling. Now you can go and hit the putt.
And you're actually like behind, you ask yourself that question, what's a good putt look like here? And then your eyes, because like watched it on TV and playing with you, you're actually picturing that ball rolling on its line all the way until it goes in the hole, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I see it going around, going up and through, and then entering in the speed that I want it to enter at.
Yeah.
So 18 inches, right, Jeggy?
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Honestly, I got over it, and I was committed to my target more there of that tee, but I knew that wasn't enough break.
Okay.
So I think the learning there, if I were to self-assess, because that happens on the golf course too, right? You have a line and you're over it, you're committed already, but you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right. The last putt I hit, I actually adjusted more on the fly.
Yep.
That putt, I think the learning is I knew over that putt, this is going to break more than I've played for.
And what'd you say internally?
Maybe I need to try to push this or whatever it is. I wasn't committed to my target.
So when you say to yourself, if you're not committed, just like what Jackie said there, and you go, maybe I need to push this a little bit, back out.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're uncomfortable. You're not most likely not going to hit a good putt anyways, or a good shot.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 out of every 100 you might hole it.
Yeah.
1. So you may as well back out and then feel committed to a wrong line or the wrong actual read and be committed to that and miss the putt, then go in there, commit to something that is most likely potentially a good read, but you miss it because you don't have commitment, you hit a poor putt.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at the hole now, you started that left.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you pulled it because he was uncommitted to the actual line. It was low and hard. So we are, I'm going to say, probably just over 18 inches past the hole. So I think that we can just take that down to not being as committed as possible. Yeah. So next time you do it, right, I'm not sure if it was read. I'm going to say it wasn't as much read as it was more being committed to the line. Yeah. So when you go in there and you know that it's too low, just back out and say, hey man, that read's too low. I'm going to adjust, and I'll keep adjusting until I feel pretty good. And
that's what's interesting is like sometimes, like I would have gone through reading that putt through my traditional, format of reading it, standing in my line. Yeah. But then I get over the putt and my feet are feeling something more aggressive. Right. But I think to your point, the important thing is, and sometimes you feel pressure, whether you're playing with your friends or you're in a tournament setting or whatever it is, and you don't want to be slow or back off. But at the end of the day, your point's dead on, which is if you are in a routine and you have any thought that comes up in your head that is outside of your visual and commitment to the shot, it's taking you away and you're... Well, just think about it this way. I know that you may take maybe 5-10 seconds longer just making sure that you're doing the correct thing. Yeah. But if you're at a long putt and you hit an uncommitted putt, then you have to do the whole routine again from maybe 5-10 feet away because you've hit a terrible lag putt. Yeah. Then you've got to go through the whole routine. So if you back off and do maybe 5-10 seconds of just backing away, readjusting, going in, hitting a committed putt, you may either hole it or you may hit it stone dead, and then you're just tapping and going on from there. So it's important. Let me go through my self-assessment so that like you're not just doing it. Yeah. I'll grab a ball real quick. Because at the end of the day, like what's really fascinating is, golf's an individual game and it's all in the mind, right? And so you have to become your friend out on the golf course to go through these routines and learn from what you're doing and be able to assess on the fly. So the next shot that you have, you can learn from it and take it with you. So I think this is a great way to learn how to assess yourself while you're playing. I'm a little bit different to Jackie. I like being a foot by, not 18 inches, and that's totally fine. Jackie likes 18 inches. I like being a foot by. So as I'm going through this putt right now, obviously I haven't hit a putt today, so the speed could be off, which is even better because if I miss it, it's actually better to watch. If I'm holding it, then I've holed a putt, that's fine. But, so I'm coming into a putt, excuse me, and I'm essentially tracking the putt along the way, and I'm picking out landmarks, and this is how I'm going to tell if I'm off. So I've got a Sharpie here, right? And I'm going to just draw a little dot, all right? And so this is something you'll do in your practice. In my practice. Me and Brucey will do this in my practice. So now that I have that dot, I'm going to go through my routine, all that stuff. Take my 3 practice swings, try and visualize. Okay, that's how hard I need to hit it in. Go through the tracking process again. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, if I get the speed right, that it should be pretty good there. Maybe a little bit low on that line, but I've got to self-adjust up. And that was a little bit weak and short. Now, from what you can see back there, it'd be interesting because I don't know if, and you can point me out, did that start over the blue line? It looked like it started on the line itself. So I think that if it went a foot by, that definitely would have holed. Obviously, I hit it, probably 6 inches short.
So I'm off a good, 18 inches of speed there, which I think if that carries the correct amount of speed, I think that was good. So the read was good, the start line was good, the speed was off. So that now I know that I'm like, okay, the next time I hit a putt, I just got to hit a little bit harder. So I'll do a right to left real quick for you guys.
How was your attitude? That's the most important part.
The attitude, always good. That's Wesley Bryan, guys, and we were working on his attitude the other day. How was your attitude, more importantly?
My attitude is always impeccable. Killer instinct.
You got great posture right now, I tell you.
My posture's fantastic.
Yeah. I love it.
See you in a couple hours.
All right, buddy. Okay, so I'm going through my putt again. I'm going to trace the line.
And when you say trace the line, that's your eye.
Yeah, so I'm eyeing, and I'm going like this, going through, and I can see the putt go in.
Yep.
So I'm tracing it with my eyes like a line. So let me see here. I'll go here. Okay, so I'm going right here with the blue mark. It doesn't have to be. It could be 6 inches or a foot in front. It doesn't have to be directly on that. I'm looking at that line now, and it looks low again. So let me just go in there, feel it out, and then I can adjust from there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I step it out, right? So that's my foot right here. So I would say that if I'm looking at it, I carried a little bit of speed. That is really, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, with that speed is pretty dang close to being a foot by. It missed low side with decent amount of speed. Like if you're here or there, that's not too bad. But the problem there is I felt like I actually hit a pretty good putt. And on my line, I don't know if it did it start. I would say that when I was adjusting, I adjusted high of that dot, and I was still low. So what that tells me is that even though the speed was pretty dang good, I would say, my lines or read needs to be adjusted a little bit higher. So that way, when we're self-assessing, I go, okay, we're here at Sawgrass, the green, just finished the tournament. The green speeds are pretty tournament ready. They're rolling pretty good. On faster greens, usually the ball likes to turn more. And that way you go, okay, the speed was good, my start line was good, my read was off. So the first two putts, left to righter, line was good, and the read was good, speed was off. This one, the line was off, speed was good, and the start line was good. So now we can go, and then if you hit 10 to 20 putts and you can see a pattern, you might see, oh, my speed's good, but every left to right putt, I keep hitting it low, every single one. Then you go, okay, next time I want to adjust up a little bit more, see how that goes. On my right to lefters, they're just dribbling in the hole, and I like to hit them 18 inches past. Well, that could be a speed component, or it could be just a trust issue, really, to be honest. But most likely it's like, oh, I'm just getting it to the hole, and I should be hitting it 18 inches past. Because essentially what you want to do is, if you can get a foot by every single time, or whatever speed you like, it does not matter. You could say, I want to hit it 3 feet by. If you can hit it consistently a foot by for me, the reads are going to be very, very consistent, and you'll be able to go in there. As long as you can start it straight, you're most likely going to hold a lot of putts. So I think that's a good intro into self-assessing your putts. And
that drill with the marker is a pretty cool drill.
Yeah,
to go around, for somebody that's learning this, to go around, pick putts around the green. You pick your starting point, and then you have this marker, and you say, here's where I want to start it. That's a cool drill for somebody to be able to take. And
because it's very difficult for you to go and put the mark down, hit the putt and go, where'd that start? So if you can do it where you have a tripod set up behind you, you got your phone filming you as you're doing it, that way you can go, You know, I started that a little bit right, started that a little bit left, or I started it perfect.
Fun to do with a friend too.
Yeah, it's great to do it with friends.
Yeah.
So I do it with my caddy, Brucey, all the time. But if this is kind of an introduction onto why are you missing putts and learning how to understand from an open mind instead of just being emotional about it and then thinking, oh, I'm pushing and pulling. No, your speed's off, or your reads are off, or your line's off. So your starting line. So good introduction. I think that went well.
Yeah.
So, you know, self-assessing your putts.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. This was a great kind of run through as to how one can assess their putting while they're either practicing with some of the drills we looked at, or also during a round of golf, how you can learn about why you're missing putts, not just emotionally, like you said,
yep.
But actually assessing, is it my routine, is it my speed, is it my direction, and starting to learn as you go. So really enjoy these instructional videos, and we'd love to learn about what you guys would like to hear from us more for as well, whether it's chipping or it's, you know, driving, whatever it is. We want to hear from you guys as to what you want to learn from the pros here. So thanks for checking us out. Like and subscribe as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Cheers, guys.
Nice. And got it.